Alright, let's talk Bronny James. You know, the Lakers have been making some serious moves, completely reshaping their roster. The biggest splash? Landing Luka Doncic. I mean, that's a franchise-altering trade right there. And then they brought in Mark Williams to solidify the frontcourt. The feeling is, this isn't just a team built for a quick run, they're aiming for sustained success, to be contenders for years and years to come. But with all these high-profile acquisitions, there's a bit of a squeeze on the roster. It means it's a tougher climb for young guys, for rookies like Bronny James to really break into that regular rotation. So, the plan is, he's going to be getting a significant amount of playing time down in the G League, honing his skills, working on his weaknesses, and just generally getting game ready so he can eventually become a key contributor for the Lakers. He's got to prove he can handle the speed, the physicality, the complexity of the NBA game. And you know what? In his recent appearances with the South Bay Lakers, he's been showing flashes of brilliance. He's really been putting in the work, and it is highlighting his growth. Although specific stats weren't provided in this set of search results, it was noted to be among his best G League showings. Now, these performances are exactly what the Lakers want to see. They're not going to rush him. They're taking a measured approach. They want to see consistent improvement, a dedication to the process, before they bring him up to the NBA full-time and throw him into the fire. He might not immediately crack that rotation, but he's steadily progressing, both in his G League appearances and in the limited minutes he's gotten with the big club. Remember that three-pointer he hit recently? A moment that sparked excitement. The Lakers coaching staff is laser-focused on his shooting. They really want to see him develop a reliable outside shot. In today's NBA, you've got to be able to stretch the floor, and if Bronny can become a consistent threat from beyond the arc, it opens up so many opportunities for him and for the team. They want to see him knocking down those shots consistently before they give him the green light for extended playing time. It's a demanding process, but it's about building a solid foundation. The Lakers' priority, no question, is winning a championship now. But the development of Bronny James, as a potential future rotation player, is a huge bonus for the organization. It's about building for the present and the future simultaneously. If he continues on this trajectory, he could become a valuable asset, a key piece of the puzzle down the road. And if you look at his numbers in the G League, during the season, James has been demonstrating his abilities, averaging 21.3 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 5.0 assists per game. In one game, he had 31 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. So, keep an eye on Bronny James. He's putting in the time, he's showing the potential, and he's definitely a player to watch as he continues his journey towards becoming a valuable contributor for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but he's making progress every step of the way. Alright, buckle up, because we're diving deep into the financial implications of Luka Doncic's blockbuster trade to the Los Angeles Lakers. This isn't just about a change of scenery, this is about a massive amount of money left on the table. Let's paint the picture. Before this trade blindsided everyone, Luka was on track to ink a supermax contract extension with the Dallas Mavericks. We're talking about a potential windfall of $345 million, spread out over 5 years of absolute basketball dominance. I mean, that's generational wealth. But here's the kicker, that trade to the Lakers? It completely torpedoed his eligibility for that supermax deal. The Lakers, under the current CBA rules, can only offer him a maximum of around $229 million over the same 5-year period. Let that sink in for a second. We're talking about a staggering $116 million difference. Poof. Gone. It's like someone just snapped their fingers and erased a small fortune. Think about it. That lost money is far greater than LeBron James' total NBA earnings, around $532 million. And it's not just any old contract he's missing out on. This was potentially going to be the richest contract in NBA history, setting a new benchmark for player compensation. It would have solidified his legacy, not just as a basketball icon, but as a financial titan in the sport. Now, let's rewind a bit and talk about these supermax contracts. They were created back in 2017 with a noble intention, to give smaller market teams a fighting chance to retain their superstar players. The idea was to incentivize these players to stay loyal, to build dynasties in cities like Milwaukee, Denver, or, yes, even Dallas. To qualify for a supermax, players have to meet certain criteria, like being named to an All-NBA team, first, second, or third, winning Defensive Player of the Year, or even capturing the coveted MVP award. Luka had ticked all those boxes, making him a prime candidate for that megadeal. Remember, Luka, drafted and traded to the Mavs in 2018, built an incredible career in Dallas. He became a global phenomenon, captivating audiences with his dazzling skills, his court vision, and his clutch performances. He led the Mavericks to the Western Conference Finals, earning MVP honors along the way. He was the face of the franchise, a symbol of hope for the city. So, why the trade? Well, reports suggest that it wasn't solely a basketball decision. The Mavericks were reportedly weighing the financial burden of a supermax contract against the concerns about Luka's physical conditioning. He had missed a significant amount of time due to injuries, and there were whispers about his weight fluctuating. That said, the potential contract size and long-term commitment needed to be a good fit. The trade itself sent shockwaves throughout the NBA. Even Luka himself was reportedly blindsided by the move. Apparently, there were discussions about a possible contract extension happening on the very same day he was traded. It's a brutal reminder that this is a business, first and foremost, and loyalty can sometimes take a back seat to financial considerations. Now, Luka finds himself in a new chapter of his career, donning the purple and gold of the Los Angeles Lakers. Still, the shadow of that lost $116 million looms large. So, what's the silver lining here? Well, there is some speculation to recoup some of the lost money. There is suggestion Doncic could sign a 3-year extension with the Lakers, including a player option for the 2028-29 season, which would allow him to reach 10 years of service in the NBA. By doing this, his salary in 2028-29 could reach $72 million. And, ultimately, money isn't everything. Luka now has the opportunity to chase championships in one of the most iconic franchises in sports history. He'll be playing under the bright lights of Los Angeles, with a chance to cement his legacy alongside legends like Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Kobe Bryant. And, yes, he's still going to be making a whole lot of money playing basketball. It's a mixed bag, no doubt, but Luka is still in a pretty good place. He's a Laker, and he's ready to compete. Okay, so the Lakers just completed their roster overhaul, adding a final piece to the puzzle after those earth-shattering moves to acquire Luka Doncic and Mark Williams. And that final piece? Guard Jordan Goodwin. This isn't quite as splashy as landing a superstar like Doncic, but it's a smart, strategic move that addresses a critical need for depth and stability. According to ESPN's Shams Charania, Goodwin is officially joining the purple and gold on a 2-way contract, which means we are going to be seeing a lot of Goodwin on the court. The underlying story here is about roster balance. The Lakers, in their pursuit of bigger names, had to part ways with some promising young players and valuable role players. Remember, to get Doncic and Williams, they traded away Max Christie, Dalton Knecht, and Cam Reddish. While the upside of Doncic and Williams is undeniable, those trades did leave the Lakers a little thin on the wings and in the backcourt. That's where Jordan Goodwin comes in. He's not going to be a nightly starter, but he provides experienced depth and a reliable presence off the bench. And, at 26 years old, he's still got room to grow and develop his game. To officially clear a roster spot for Goodwin, the Lakers had to make a corresponding move. They decided to waive Armel Traore, who previously occupied one of the team's 2-way contract slots. This can be a tough decision, as teams invest time and resources in developing these young players. Now, Goodwin joins Christian Koloko and Trey Jemison III as the Lakers' 2-way players. Let's break down how those 2-way contracts work, because they're a little different from standard NBA deals. A 2-way player can spend a maximum of 50 games with the NBA team during the regular season. The rest of the time, they're with the team's G League affiliate. This allows the Lakers to keep Goodwin close, to work with him on his skills, and to have him available to step in whenever they need him. If the Lakers decide they want Goodwin to be eligible for the playoffs, they would have to convert his 2-way contract into a standard NBA deal, which would count against the team's salary cap. Goodwin's journey to the Lakers has been a winding one. He originally entered the NBA scene back in 2021-22 with the Washington Wizards, then had stints with the Phoenix Suns and the Memphis Grizzlies. He even spent time in training camp with the Lakers earlier this season, so he already has some familiarity with the team's coaching staff and system. More recently, he's been showcasing his talents for the South Bay Lakers, the Lakers' G League affiliate. And he's been playing exceptionally well, averaging close to 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals per game. He's demonstrating a well-rounded game and a knack for making plays on both ends of the floor. While the limitations of a two-way contract mean he won't be a regular fixture in the Lakers' rotation, Goodwin provides valuable insurance at the guard position. He gives the Lakers a reliable ball handler, a solid defender, and a player who can knock down open shots when called upon. He also already knows the team system and has developed some chemistry with his teammates during his time with South Bay. This familiarity will allow him to step in and contribute seamlessly whenever he's needed. With Luka Doncic and Mark Williams set to join the team in the coming days, the addition of Jordan Goodwin provides stability and depth to that guard rotation, and the Lakers are going to need it. The challenge now is to figure out how to best utilize Goodwin's talents. The coaching staff will need to find a way to balance his playing time between the Lakers and the South Bay Lakers, ensuring that he gets enough reps to stay sharp while also being available to contribute when the Lakers need him. And, of course, they'll need to continue to integrate him into the team's offensive and defensive schemes. But if everything falls into place, Jordan Goodwin could prove to be a sneaky good pickup for the Lakers. He's a low-risk, high-reward type of player who has the potential to make a significant impact down the stretch. And if he can seize this opportunity and showcase his skills, he might just earn himself a full-time NBA contract. It all boils down to him making the most out of the chance he has with the Lakers. The Lakers are hoping Goodwin can make something out of his opportunity to be a Laker, especially with the high amount of new Lakers being added this year. Alright, let's dive into a fascinating topic. Can the LA Lakers actually pull off a move to acquire Ben Simmons? It's a question that's been swirling around NBA circles, and the answer, unfortunately for Lakers fans, is far more complex than a simple yes or no. The reality is, thanks to some significant changes in the NBA's landscape, acquiring Simmons presents a monumental challenge, one that might prove insurmountable. It's going to be an uphill battle for the LA Lakers to acquire a player like Ben Simmons, primarily due to the restrictions imposed by the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, CBA. The key to understanding this situation lies in the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, or CBA. Now, for those unfamiliar, the CBA is the set of rules that governs everything from player salaries to team operations to the very structure of the league itself. And the latest iteration of the CBA includes some pretty sweeping changes, all designed to promote competitive balance and prevent a select few teams from hoarding all the star talent. One of the most impactful changes is the introduction of the second apron. Think of this second apron as a super luxury tax threshold, set approximately $17.5 million above the standard luxury tax line. Now, what happens if a team exceeds this second apron? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Teams that cross that line face a whole host of restrictions that severely limit their roster-building flexibility. The changes incentivize teams to lock in their stars with contract extensions, but it also discourages the formation of super teams through free agency. These restrictions include things like being unable to use the taxpayer mid-level exception, a valuable tool for signing free agents, being unable to aggregate salaries in trades, meaning you can't combine multiple smaller salaries to acquire a higher-priced player, and even being prohibited from signing players who have been bought out by other teams. Essentially, it's like putting a straitjacket on high-spending teams, preventing them from further loading up their rosters with talent. So, how does all of this relate to the Lakers and Ben Simmons? Well, the Lakers, with their current roster composition and their existing salary commitments, are highly likely to be operating above that second apron threshold. This means that they would be subject to all of those aforementioned restrictions. And one of the most relevant restrictions in this particular scenario is the limitation on signing free agents who previously made more than the non-taxpayer mid-level exception. For the upcoming offseason, the non-taxpayer mid-level exception is projected to be worth around $12.4 million. Now, let's consider Ben Simmons' salary situation. He's currently under contract with the Brooklyn Nets, and he's slated to earn a staggering $40.3 million in the final year of his deal. That's nearly 3 times the amount that the Lakers would be allowed to offer a free agent under these new CBA rules. Therefore, the Lakers would face a near-impossible hurdle in trying to sign Simmons outright as a free agent. The math simply doesn't work. His salary is far too high, and the Lakers would be constrained by their position above the second apron. Essentially, the NBA is trying to level the playing field. They want to discourage teams from simply buying championships by throwing money at every available star. They want to incentivize teams to build through the draft, develop their own talent, and make smart, strategic decisions about how they allocate their resources. Now, it's always important to remember that things can change in the NBA. Trades can happen, players can restructure their contracts, and unforeseen circumstances can alter the landscape of the league. But as things stand right now, with the current CBA rules in place, and with the Lakers' projected position above the second apron, the chances of them acquiring Ben Simmons are extremely slim. It is, by all accounts, an uphill battle that may be too steep to climb. So, while anything can happen in the NBA, don't hold your breath on seeing Ben Simmons in a Lakers uniform anytime soon. The numbers just don't add up.